heritage time. Hello, sir. How do you do? It's a coat. Look at this, beautiful. There we are, folks. That's the council chamber, and it's all part of the library. Gosh. And it's a law library here at the county court. Elders law. Look at this. We have to have a law for the elders. This is just for Pennsylvania, folks. Don't think further away. This is not the federal law. It's just for the state of Pennsylvania. So all the industrial governments are located upstairs. Bankruptcy if you want. Wow. That's another layer of this. Yes. Books and me doesn't go that well. But this is what makes it so interesting. There's a chair. And which one should I study? The Federal Reporter. Criminal law and defenses. I should stay away from all of them. Wow. It's the county court. It's more. Look at this. Ohio juror. And the radiator keeping it all warm. New York and Ohio. Michigan, New York. I should be... No time to read. It's time for me to not even talk. all the laws, all the means of putting people straight. Yes, keeping people straight is the idea in making oh dear. Oh dear. Let me sit in this wonderful, comfortable chair and talk to you about how would you feel to be talking in your library here at the County Court Library. How do I look like? The laws that make you rich and anybody who doesn't understand entangled. Is that the right way to put it? I don't know. Follow the rules. Ask questions. And keep asking questions. Because the law is only relevant to the times that we live, and our values would change with times that we live. Take, for example, science and engineering. There were laws for code of conduct, on reporting, on materials used. At the time, the laws were passed so that you would not build or construct buildings that were unfit for the topography. Like so, if you look at it, with the climate change or not, whether the weather is more ferocious as we speak just now, the southeast coast has been wiped out through a hurricane storm. Whole of south coast, southeast coast and southwest coast has been washed off overnight. So are there laws to now build when they construct new buildings? Will there be a new statutory law that will come into place to try and make sure that the houses and the buildings are built incorporating the risks with storm surge, that at a certain distance from the ocean, certain distance from the rivers, there shouldn't be anything built. There should be ways to absorb that storm falling on the land, such as short shrubs, or maybe, for that matter, some breakwater barriers. Should be a law, should be a rule, would be a statutory instrument that all the contractors would have to follow, that code. But that might not be the code in a few years' time, not even a few years' time, a few months' time. Maybe a different weather front might appear. Maybe the climate would have altered. Yes, what is real is that you are in tune with whatever the changes that takes place, and that you do the best and the very best that you can within the tools and the knowledge that you have, and be that the model, that you don't compromise the safety of anyone around you by getting involved in whatever you do. Would we need all of these documentation? Do we need a courthouse? Well, especially when you're involved with so many, you take in the ownership of many different transactions. The more you involve, the more you are exposed to the risks and other factors that comes along with that. Yes, somebody is there looking through, waiting to make an advantage, trying to make money. If we take the word money out of what we do, I'm sure a lot of the books that are written here wouldn't have existed. Yes, it is the money that causes many varied ways for us to behave. If the money is not the central focus, will there be any hierarchy, any importance? I've lost it. I'll leave it to you with your great mind for you all to think. You can only think to what you have experienced in life, not less or beyond to what you do not know. You can go on about making things up, but remember, what is written is never what is going to be in real situations of any of our lives. Because real situations are that you have a life and that you are conscious with that life. The actions and the responsibility entirely lies on your two hands, and making sure that whatever you do, it enhances everyone else's life, and that it has no selfish ambitions. And this is how I feel about whatever I do, that I have no selfish ambitions to make myself important, and you are the beneficiary is less. No, the idea should be the other way around, that you're more important, that my work gets so involved in what I'm doing that I wanted to see everyone progress into becoming a solution. How about that? And becoming a solution, you might have less and less court visits, or less and less having to read through to come to a judgment. And again, if you don't understand the circumstances that surround you to behave in ways, how can you judge on somebody's behavior? Or how could you judge on somebody's conduct? Do you know what I mean? There's something called animal law, elder law, there's something called family law, there's something called real estate. There's so much. Animal law. Now, tell me about it. Is this because of the people have moved from the God to the dogs in the recent times? They've got more dogs involved now. And is the dog trespassing somebody else's house and get electrocuted or something like that happens? So there's a contraption that avoids others' dogs coming into private land. And where does it stop? Where does it... It's crazy, right? Is that mind-boggling for you that I've carried on with all this? It's interesting, very interesting for me. Looking at these books, the amount of time people would have invested their lives in reading and writing all of this. Imagine if they put some effort in making something worthwhile for others to benefit, rather than confuse others with different articles and cases and all combine into one completely confusing setup. You just give up, right? Or you become even more, how should I say, aberrant, and behave completely out of order. So for me, I say, let it go over your head. But let it go over your head, but don't let it hit somebody else. It's your responsibility to make sure that you don't fall off. That's why I sat down. I thought maybe I'll sit down and talk about all of this after we walking through that little passage, the back office law library. The most important for me is the architecture.